Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. I am thrilled to be here. Taking a second to let everybody get here, get in, making sure the the stream is happening. There we go. Okay. Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome. Let's see. So right now in Spain, it is 1:30 p.m. So in the States, depending on which coast to coast you are on, we're somewhere between 7:30 and 4:30 in the morning. So if you're up and you're joining me, or you're one of our friends that's in Ireland or the UK, then we're probably, or even here in Spain, then we're probably joining together in some beautiful, reasonable time. And just, I want to say hello to you. Welcome. And today, I just wanted to spend a little bit of time checking in with you. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Aquarius season as we're here doing some travel and we'll be shortly moving out of it. But I wanted to take a minute here with you to just check in. Hi, Penny. Beautiful to see you here. To just check in with you and to offer you a little bit of encouragement as we finish out this season, and especially about the fact that we're going to see Mars and Venus this week come into a new cycle with one another, which means we're coming into a new cycle with ourselves between what we desire and what we're attracting in. And I think these are really important concepts to be connecting about. So if we haven't met before, I'm professional practicing astrologer Stormy Grace, and I am an evolutionary and a humanistic astrologer. And really the way that this happened is I love the evolutionary lens coming from my teacher, Stephen Forrest, and looking back at what the soul story is, what the past life experience or the past soul connections are pointing us to, right, as the roadmap of the journey of your soul. And then I like the humanistic lens as well, because we move from what has it been and what are you growing into spiritually to how can you practically act, move, make decisions as a human, understand some of your own psychology, tips and tricks to be able to navigate that spiritual journey. So that is what I do here on this channel, and I'm absolutely thrilled to travel with you. Now, big, big sense of love coming out to you right now, because Aquarius season has been a challenge for some people. And whether it's been a challenge because it's good and you're building something in a very forward way, you're feeling the energy move forward, especially since February in general is a month where all of the personal planets are not only moving forward, but they are also moving in the vibration of Aquarius. So we have a lot of forward energy. And if you haven't checked out your February 2024 horoscope videos, please check it out. They're all together in one video, so it's nice and tidy like a Virgo rising I am. There's timestamps. Go listen, because we have a lot of forward motion. So there is a lot happening. There is a lot getting done, but also it's needing to kind of present itself and get done in a little bit of a different way. And I wanted to step in and explore that with you. So lots of perspective, lots of energy moving forward. The shifts started right at the beginning of February. So there's this re-energized, as we came into February, kind of Aquarian energy. And let me say to this as well, happy Chinese New Year. I know that we're just a day past it, but welcoming the energy of the wood dragon as well, I think is just, to me, it speaks volumes energetically as to where we can take on reinvention, reinvention of our world, reinvention of ourselves. And I focus a bit more on the of ourselves perspective in how we can even take that out into the mundane world and communities around us. So I want to wish you a happy Chinese New Year. Even if you don't celebrate it, it is huge in the astrological world for us to know that the energies are changing and what that symbology speaks to us as well, okay? But the other things, focusing on the vibration of February, is looking at the fact that we've had this beautiful new moon, right? We had this just on the 9th, just right before we're welcoming in this beautiful Chinese New Year. And all of these energies come together, whether we've been able to fully consciously be recognizing it or not, are really working together in a cosmic synchronicity that is always on and in our favor. It is always working for good. Now, we are reflections of those big balls of energy that are moving, right? We're just smaller vibrations of them. So if something happens in the larger vibration, it's going to trickle on down here to the tiny vibrations of that. And that may be what we're experiencing, right? Is we kind of got to bump along because we're not individually as big of a force as that one collective planet that is bringing the vibration in. So one of the things I like to remember, though, is that it's always a cosmic conspiracy to help us be the most in alignment. But in Aquarius energy, what is absolutely required of each of us is flexibility. Hi, Diane, is flexibility, is a willingness to be honest and to be very open-minded about what we're being presented with. And typically what we're being presented with are the things about ourselves. And this is where, this is not the shadow work. This is not necessarily those things. Some of these things I think in Aquarius vibration are a lot more practical. It's just simply the gift of Aquarian energy to say, okay, hold on. I just need to observe. I need to actually, in the rest of this season, if I feel like I'm off course or I'm disconnected or I'm just discouraged, I need to actually move into the position of being a spectator in my own life, a spectator of my inner world, my outer world, my behavior, right? And it's coming from it, which is the gift of Aquarius, I think, from a pretty detached, very like rational, logical perspective, which is simply not how do I feel about what's going on, but what is going on in my patterning of what I'm doing. Because if I can look at it as a spectator of my life and just kind of hover down and take a look, then I can create the plan moving forward and let the newness, the new opportunities, the new inventions, the new perspectives pour in over me and take advantage of them with a little bit more ease. So I just want to take a minute right here before we explore this a little bit further, is that I want to recognize you, support you, and hold you. If you are feeling in any way, I don't care if it's around business, your marriage, your finances, yourself, something that you're trying to take on, if you have been feeling like everything you're doing is getting shot down, why isn't it working? Why isn't it going here? If you feel like you are so off track on something that you wanted to bring to life, if you feel disconnected or you feel discouraged, I just want to take a minute to hold you and to say, hold on, not like the little kitty on the wire. Don't hang in there. I don't want you to do that. That's a position of not being able to take a deep breath. But I want you to really have the understanding that the universe, the cosmos, that cosmic energy is moving. It's creating a gateway. It's like, think about this. You're walking down the road and you get to the end of the road. You're at what you perceive to be a wall, right? It's here it is. This is it. This is as far as I can go, but I'm making a plan to get over the wall, right? I'm making the plan to do this. And the universe is saying, you don't need to. You don't even need to be on this road anymore. Just give me a minute. I'm building you the pathway into your next road where there's no walls anymore. Just give me a minute. Stay still, right? Stay still. Open your mind. Open your mind a little bit. Look up, look around. Look to either side of this wall. Look up, literally look up. I live in Spain. I am constantly reminded to look up because there's so much artistry. There's so much beauty in the up, right? And the universe is literally working that road out. Okay, so it's that kind of energy where we're required and we're being asked and reminded to remember that the universe already has it. It's already in hand and it is bringing forth something out of you that is better suited. And it may not look like what you thought at all. So whether or not you've been able to really embrace the shift or recognize it, I want to just hold you for a second and say that it is happening. Now, the other side of this is while you're standing there at your wall, whatever that perceivable wall happens to be, I also want to bring you back to the path of your own remembrance. Remember, the things that you have done got you where you are, which means two things. One, that you have effectively survived and built and learned something, and that is really important. There's this big mountain in Colorado. It's called the Incline Trail. Okay, so it goes up the side of the mountain. It's train tracks, and you climb, and it's a fitness thing. For some, it's a spiritual thing. It's whatever. It's huge, it's long, and it takes the whole day, okay? But as you're going up, you get to where you just think you have absolutely had enough, and you're like, thank God I am almost there. You know what I mean? Like, thank goodness I am almost there. And you get right here to the top. And what it is a false summit, because it actually goes back and it goes up even further. Now, the interesting thing that I was thinking about during this Aquarian season is how many times I would be going up. I'm walking up that incline and I'm breathing heavy and my calves are burning, but I know my butt's going to look good. So I feel good about it because I'm vain. And I would be like, I really don't know if I can even make it to the false summit, right? I don't even know if I can be average up here. And I would turn around on those train tracks and take a look at the steps I had taken to get me where I was at. And every time I turned around, I could see something really beautiful in the trees, the scenery, the landscape. I mean, you're on a mountain, right? It was absolutely gorgeous. And what I could also see in front of me were all the steps that were down below me that I had walked. I had walked up them to get where I was standing at that time. And what I could see from where I was standing was gorgeous, right? And for me, it wasn't looking up towards the false summit or knowing that there's a false summit and then knowing there's more. It was never looking up at the mountain itself that was giving me the perspective and the energy and the encouragement. It was like, I got a big old butt and I'm dragging it up this mountain. I'm doing this and I have done this. It was the looking back that gave me the encouragement. So that's the first thing that it reminds us, is that what you have done has gotten you to where you are. So remember that, okay? Today is the result of choices you have made, decisions you have made, actions you have taken, and it's led you to where you are now. Okay. Now, the other thing I just really want to remind and hold and encourage you into is that this new moon that we had, with all of this energy going on this month, was re-energizing. It was a re-energizer. It was giving you that little boost of, okay, you can keep going. Because you know what? When I turned around on that mountain, I needed to keep going up if I was going to reach the false summit, if I was going to reach the real summit, if I was even going to reach the entry point to where there's a trail where you could walk down the mountain, right? So I was like, it's the re-energizing point that connects us back in. So I just want you to remember that. And I wanted to come on here and talk about that with you and remind you that you have been where you have been. You are going where you are going. But there is a fresh perspective. There is a fresh spark. If you are open-minded enough to remember where you came from and to look at what else is around you that might be sparking your attention in a creative way to move forward with it, okay? So take a lot of heart. Now, Mercury, all this month, actually, we've got Mercury, Venus, Mars, the sun, everybody's hanging out in Aquarius right now. So it is a very Aquarian time, and we're going to have this energy besides Mercury. We'll have the personal planets here all the way until March. Now, Mercury is sparking up what we're thinking, what we're talking about, how we're thinking about things, how we're talking to ourselves, how we're disseminating information as well. It's adding, because Mercury is not in retrograde in any form, not post, not pre, not nothing. Okay, so it's genuinely bringing new information, new thought process, new communication, new conversation to your plan. And this is really important because we need the newness. So in plant taking, you guys know I love my plants. I'm a Taurus, okay? So in taking care of plants, you can put water in it, and it's fine when you water your plants. They really enjoy that. But you have to water your plants you have to change the water, because if not, then they're just sitting in water, but that water doesn't have any oxygen. Okay, so you have to change the water or bring new water into it for that plant to literally get the new oxygen to be able to breathe and to grow. And we are just complicated house plants, my friend. We are just complicated house plants. So we need to be re-energized and re-oxygenated in terms of how we think, in terms of information, conversation, networks that are coming around us, and people that can even inform us. So we've got Mercury doing that for us all the way until we get to the 22nd of February, and it moves on. Now, Venus is going to also add energy to draw things to you. It's like, wait, there's incentive, there's a calling in that comes with this, there's an attraction that comes with this Venus energy, right? But the action part actually comes from Mars. Now, if you remember, or if you didn't know, when we're talking about mythology and history and things like that, we're talking about Mars, Aries, all of these Martian energies. The only energy that Mars was willing to engage and actually listen to and consider was Venus, right? Everybody else could be saying something, and that Martian energy is like, yep, I hear you, and guess what? I'm doing it my way. That's what it is. But when we have Venus and Mars in conversation in their new cycle that they're starting together, Mars actually looks to Venus and goes, okay, that seems all right. I'm could kind of be on board with that. So Venus is creating this attractive passion and saying, this is what we'd like to call to us. And Mars says, I agree. I will bring action to the table. But what kind of action are these two bringing as they are whispering and they are dancing together? Well, first of all, they're beginning a new 2-year cycle. And the cycle is about, how do I relate to what I want and what I'm willing to do to have it? Right? It's really a lot of clarity of, the world is new and different. So politically, socially, nationally, personally, the people I'm engaged with in a group capacity, how do I relate here? And does this idea help me relate to myself? It's a really big question. So when we're dealing with this in the Aquarian vibration, the point is to, first of all, it's fast. This is a thinking and air energy. This is the planet of rebellion, which I don't necessarily love, or the sign, excuse me, of rebellion. I don't necessarily love to see it that way, because it can also be a planet of revolution. I'm evolving. I am, you know what I mean? Rebellion means I have to go in and I've got to fight. I've got to fight. I've got to fight. But when we have a revolution, even within ourselves, we can have a reinvention that comes with that revolution. We can say, you know what? No, I've come to a different place within myself. I've come to a different understanding. I have a more open-minded perspective. So because I can see more, I know more, which empowers me to make different choices about what really is right and aligns within myself. And over the next 2 years, we're going to continue to have this conversation where Venus is triggering this is really what we want to call in, and Mars is taking action because it's really truly in alignment with what we're saying we desire. So this planetary pair, we have to remember that it is all about getting us to re-relate to ourselves. But in Aquarius, it's going to be, especially right now as the cycle starts, we're going to see over and over and over again. It is also about the way that I live, my health changes, my fitness changes, my financial lifestyle changes are going to have to come from a different place. But how do we get there? Is very Aquarian. We take a detached view, rational, logical view of where things are at versus where we would like to go. And then we're able to form the honest plan, surround ourselves with the honest groupings that allow us to bridge the gap and have the quality lifestyle experience we would like to have. And we're going to see it over and over and over again. Maybe it's happening in your own life that you're feeling a little bit of that Pluto in Aquarius pain point of, I don't know where I fit, right? Or even though I've been telling myself this story about something in my life, I really realized today from a detached, rational perspective that what I'm doing, how I've been thinking, how I've been going about it is not working out. And this is where we can create the right kind of plans for ourselves. And I want to give just a very specific example, right? I'm 41 now and I like it. I love it. I actually like being in my 40s, right? But so there had been this idea of, okay, well, the way that I've been working out and caring for my body, caring for myself in a very physical way, down to the way that I eat, has been great. It's been working out. It's okay, right? But where I am today and what I'm doing and how I'm caring for myself at 41 has been a really great story over the last, I want to say, probably 5, 6 years, that it's like, cool, this is sustainable, right? This is sustainable. Now, it was sustainable for the pre-midlife me. It was totally sustainable. And as I've been doing my workouts, as I've been getting in there, my relation to how I'm doing that and where I want to be, which is feeling comfortable, happy, sexy in my body, like I have a lovely self-care routine, there's a gap. Right. So during Aquarius season, I've had the opportunity to, first of all, use the Venus and Mars time to go, okay, hold on a minute. How do I relate to myself? What is the desire? And the first thing is, I don't relate to myself, like the me when I was 30 at that Saturn return and building this routine that was sustainable. But been a block, like an unconsciousness to really see that. And it's like, well, the information says you should lift weights for bone health. It will also help you with your hormones, da, 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 da. And all of those things are right and correct. But from a rational, detached view, it's like, yes, I do need to do those things, but I need to do them in the way that relates to myself. So what I found out for me is I absolutely do not love working out and lifting weights by myself anymore. My husband's over there just like lifting the weights, eating them, biting them, and he's like, yeah. And I'm like, this sucks. This absolutely sucks. Okay. But what I did find out I like working out Aquarius in group strength training classes. Right. And that has been able to just getting detached, going, well, hold on, what's my past pattern? Every time it's time to go to the gym and work out the way my husband likes to work out or work out in the way my 30-year-old self likes to, I get an attitude and I feel my energy tense up and I go do it anyways. And the health benefits are there, but the energy benefits are not there. Right. So from a detached, rational view, I can say, hold on, every time it's time to go to the gym, I get an attitude. That is detached. It is rational. It's not looking at how I feel per se. It's just what's the pattern. And then an ability to make an adjustment. And I have to share with you that as soon as I was able to spot the pattern and go, oh my God, you know what? I looked at my husband and I said, I agree. I need to work out for our team to be healthy, for me to be healthy. And I hate doing it this way. Less than 24 hours later, a woman who we became friends with here in Spain said, yeah, hey, I go to this gym over here. And I wasn't telling her about working out at all. But she said, there's this group fitness class and we do weights. And she's like, I'm 40. I got to work out a little bit differently. I mean, she just said my life and my story out of her mouth. And now there's a new group arrangement on the table. But do you see what I mean? It's this detached, rational view and some honesty about how do I re-relate to myself right now? How are you finding that you're re-relating to yourself right now? Because the answer for me was not, F working out, I'm not going to do it. That would probably actually kill me and be really terrible. But to find the right alignment, speak it out loud, right? And then to let the new groupings that are here to support my revolution, my evolution, my transformation come forward. So hopefully this is making a little bit of sense. Please let me know whether you're watching back in the comment section down below or you're here with me in the chat, which I am so grateful that you are here with me in the chat, by the way. And I'm also grateful if you're watching back later, but how does this resonate for you in your life? And tell me, because I'm here, I'm watching the comments. I'm going to be engaging with you even after this is done. I want to hold you. I want to support you through these times. These are times where the world is changing around us. There is an absolutely different vibration out in the world in general. So how are you finding that you are re-relating, or where are you finding that the Aquarian season, especially Pluto in Aquarius, has shown you a real pain point? And this is the thing about the pain point. This was not, for me anyways, is not just an intellectual pain point. It is, but it's not, right? Like the intellectual pain point is that I think I can think my way out of the pain that I'm having. Does that make sense? And it's really that I have to use the intellect to see the pattern that is happening, to use the wording to call something else in, to realign myself with where I see action and incentive coming into alignment. And that is, I think, the same for you. So please let me know what this looks like in your life and in your world, right? And I can tell you, yes, Titus, for me as well, it has absolutely been. I'm calling in people who are more detached from the feeling of things, but they are as spiritually minded as anybody else, right? I think that there can be this sense, especially in the creative entrepreneur space, that if we're talking about just our feelings and how it feels and how it made me feel, that makes us spiritual. And I have to very much so disagree with that. To the other side of the work that I do, business coaching and consulting and teaching creative entrepreneurs to build profitable businesses, I can tell you I'm every bit as spiritual in that role, where we have to talk specifics of the strategy and the tactics that you're using, as I am when I come and I sit and I speak about astrology, right? So this is the other place that I think we have some incentive in Aquarius season to use this open-minded perspective, is to go towards very specifically the people who have a strategy or a tactic, which is their actions, in place where they're achieving the results that you are looking to achieve. And now what this can often bring up is fear. I'm afraid to go towards those people. And I know for me, the fear sometimes comes up because I'm like, it's going to require me to change. It's going to require me to address my behavior, my thinking, things that I've been doing to really see my pattern. And I spoke about this in the weekly video, but this is where we get to remember, and I get to come back and encourage you to remember that that is your vulnerability. Your pain is your vulnerability. It is my vulnerability. And our vulnerabilities do not make us trash. They make us teachable. Okay, so if you've got pain points going, if you've got something very specific that is a pain point, sit down with that uncomfortable teacher or that uncomfortable content and listen through. And maybe you have to eat it one little bite at a time. One little bite at a time. You know what I mean? To let it kind of soften you, because in Pisces season, which we'll be coming to just shortly, it's the season where we get the opportunity to culminate things, to let things transition to what they will be next, to let the energy transmute us into something else and take us on these adventures. But we needed to have had some open-minded perspective in being able to call this into our lives, willing to recognize this, right? Really willing to recognize intellectually that I thought this was like hot tacos over here, and it's really not. Nobody's interested in that, right? And this is always a big thing in business, and I have absolutely been here in business and in my personal life where I think that the way I'm showing up is actually really good, really effective, and the people around me don't want it. They're like, no, thank you. That's not actually very useful. And if you've never experienced that in terms of business, to create something or create a product or create a service, and people are like, yeah, we don't want that. And having to be detached enough to go, wait, where was my agenda in that versus what people actually want and find useful? These can be painful revelations, but with a little detached, which is the gift of Aquarius perspective, to be a bit more open-minded, we can allow our vulnerabilities to move us to the groups, the teachers that can really be more helpful to us, right? And I absolutely love it. Hi, Ace. Hi, Heather. It's so beautiful to have you guys here. And let me tell you what, in this community, in the Soulmate Family Tribe, we have got some hustlers, some helpers, some healers, and it is a beautiful place to be, because as I watch and engage the comment section, and as I even show up with you guys in public when we have public events, we have people here who will hold you. They will hold your energy. They will pop a beautiful mantra into the chat box to encourage you and to hold you in that way, right? And I think that that is something really unique and really beautiful about our community. So if you actually are new to our community, or you just been hanging out and you're not really subscribed, subscribe. Please subscribe, share this content with somebody in your life who needs to be held, needs to be encouraged, but also wants the accountability of us saying, we'll hold you, but we're also going to need you to do some walking forward. So like, comment, share, subscribe, all the YouTube things, but join us. Join us. This is a comfortable, beautiful, beautiful place. Okay. So let's keep going, talking a little bit more about what else is happening in this season. Now, for some of you too, you may feel that the energy is just moving forward, moving forward, moving forward, and that's great. But some of the other things that I'm finding as you're in your flow of energy moving forward is that it's an air sign. Aquarius is an air sign. It's a double sign, right? It's going in multiple directions. So you're like doing your thing, but then it's like, oh, but I could also do this. I could also add this. I could also say this. What about this over here? So it can be absolutely distracting, right? Apps can absolutely be distracting. It doesn't cost anything to join. Hang out with us right here on YouTube. Show up consistently and you are part of the tribe. That's it. Come on in here. Okay, nothing to join. Just join us right here. Help the tribe. So as we're experiencing that, if you are finding that you like your attention is all over, or you're really like one day your energy is shooting fire in this one direction, and then you're like, I don't even like that anymore. You know, that's very, very like Aquarian energy. Now, the thing you can kind of lean into is, again, take these things one little bite at a time, because Aquarius, while it is an air energy, it is a double energy. It's going to be thinking about a lot of things, but it's fixed. It's fixed. So it will still be there when you come back. This is one thing you can guarantee. It will be there when you come back. So give yourself a little bit of grace here as well, right? That if your attention and your ambition is like super on fire this way today on Tuesday, do as much as you can. But I also encourage you to the best of your ability with what it is that you're trying to do. Build your bridge. If you are here, your pain point is here, it's not working out, you're looking for a solution here, this is damaging your life, your finances are a wreck. Look at where you are now and look at where you would like to be, a realistic, detached, rational goal for where you would like to be. And I think that honestly, one of the most rational goals anybody can set is to just be okay in your own skin and in your own house, right? Set the budget for your own house. Do your finances every month without question, no fail, no worry. Meet your monthly budget to include whatever you need to be saving for, right? Like every single penny. Does it hit the mark every month? If it does not, and this is a source of anxiety for you, here's your pain. Here's where you're trying to go. Build a rational plan in between. Put people in your life. Get rid of people, content, and behaviors in your life that are distracting you, bunch of, all the things, right? From getting on that bridge and walking across it. Now, the other thing to say about that is we are human beings. Sometimes even getting on the bridge is hard. Now, the other thing that I think we're quite good at doing is getting on the bridge and not getting off. Don't get stuck in your content. Don't get stuck in the thinking of it. Get on your bridge and get across, right? But call the people in. This is something that Aquarian energy can be really, really helpful. And I'm not one of those people who's going to tell you, like, it's just not of my mind frame or my experience, that you can just come on the internet and make 2 videos about something that you love and you're passionate about, and you're going to get gazillions of views and make a whole bunch of money, and that's all that's required as long as you manifest it. I'm not the person that's going to tell you that. That's not my experience. I think that manifesting plus action has its place, and accountability for getting to where you'd like to go also has its place as well. So I want to support you if that is what you are trying to do. And if you are stuck, if you are stuck, if you are sad, if you are scared, as Stormy Grace at one time or another, because we've had two big adjustments in how Stormy Grace has been Stormy Grace as a business. You know what, guys? With both of those times as the adjustments were coming, I was terrified. I was like, people, I'm going to miss it. People are not going to want what I have to say. I'm not delivering it right. You know, all of these things. And there were days of some tears. Okay. There really were. The pain point, the fear was very, very real. Right. But I'm holding you here. I'm encouraging you. I'm telling you, come on, come forward. Let's be accountable together. These seasons are actually built for our greatest good. So take it bit by bit. Right. Remove the distractions that you can and get on and across the bridge. Okay. So that is something that I wanted to share right there. Now, I want to bring us forward just a little bit to really where exactly the date and the time that Venus and Mars are going to begin their new cycle. And this is going to be on February 21st. I feel like although we've got all this beautiful forward motion going in February to propel us forward, right? That really from the 21st of February to the end of February is where I think that the energy is the most lush, honestly, probably because we're coming together to like recharge each other a little and be like, okay, let's focus, you know, and there's just something that happens. Do you guys find that? Like, please let me know. Do you find that it's like you can go and go and go and go and go, but you got to stop and like have a recharge, but the recharge is like joining in a group, joining with other people, hearing the encouragement, letting your spirit kind of be lifted in some way. That definitely is what it is for me. That is definitely what it is for me. So if that's for you too, please just let me know in that comment section down below. But February 21st, Venus and Mars are here together in Aquarius, and they begin this new 2-year cycle. So from there, that real relating to yourself is going to kick in. Now, as we get to February 28th, really until, you know, I feel like it could take you through the first week in March energetically. One of the things is that I think we get information. We get information that's going to make you go, okay, what I've been doing, how I've been being accountable, my open-mindedness, my willingness to come at this from a different perspective, to shed some of my distractions. It's paying off now. It's paying off now. And I feel like when we get to the 28th, is when we're all going to kind of be able to go, okay, there's some new information happening here. And what happens astrologically speaking is that we get this conjunction, like this really nice packed energy between the sun, Mercury, and Saturn. And now everything has shifted, of course, into the season of Pisces. So it is this kind of culmination energy. It's the, okay, it's all, everything I've done since last Aries season is, think about that, since last Aries season. That's our measuring mark, you guys. This is just hitting me. This is our measuring mark. Last Aries season. Everything you have done, everything you have worked on, your success, look back, see what you've done really well, where you're having a goal realization from last Aries season, because in Pisces, we bring it all together in the great womb. We assimilate it all and pull it together. Okay, but also we'll be doing this obviously with these planets that are helping us, but they're helping us to bring it to culmination, to let it be the end of things. It's time where I think that there is not only where an opportunity where we need to recognize again for ourselves what we've achieved, where we're going, that we really do recognize some truths about the way forward. Now, also depending on where this is happening for you energetically, it could also be that other people around you are starting to have your name in their mouth a little bit, right? There is some like support, some recognition for what you've done, who you've become, how things have changed for you. And this is really important for us as well, because I don't know a single person, I really don't, when we drop out of the intellect, because now we're in the space of water, the emotions, right? When we drop out of the intellect, I don't know a single person who in that core little light of spirit, of being within who we are. I don't know anybody who doesn't want to be known in their community, accepted by their community, right? To feel like they belong in some way, right? I don't know anybody who doesn't honestly, outside of the intellect, feel that way or crave that. Now, it doesn't mean that you're not like, oh, I had to break off and you know what I mean? I had to stop caring about what people think so that I could really be who I am. But who you are, there's already a community set up, right? Like who you are, a whole bunch of people already are as well. You're just your version of who and what they are. And that is a beautiful thing because we think about this too. I think about this as an astrologer and not being afraid to be an astrologer, one of many. I mean, you guys come and listen and hang out with me on YouTube and when I'm teaching, and I love that and I am grateful for it. But if you listen to my videos and you listen to Sir Terence Guardino, who I love, or to Barbara, we are all telling you about the same basic transits that are happening. We're all saying the same things. We just say them the way that we say them, right? Like I speak Stormy, Braca speaks Braca, Terrence speaks Terrence, you know what I mean? Cam speaks Cam, you know, but we're all saying the same things because what's going on up there isn't different. So when I think about this authentic being is that like we never want to be in a world where there's just one doctor, right? We never want to be in a world where there's one doctor. That doctor would be overwhelmed. There's too many people who need to be helped. What happens if everybody breaks their leg at the same time? We're not going to get the help we need, right? So in this and in finding who your authentic community is that really lets you flourish, we want to be one of the doctors. We want to be one of the astrologers, one of the tarot people, one of the mothers, so that we can really grow or we're planted into the fullest expression of ourselves. And I think that this is something that this season absolutely welcomes in for us. And 1000%, Chiron and the North Node coming together has done some help. Absolutely, because the North Node is pulling us forward towards that identity. Hey, this is who you are now. Recognize who you are now. That's the North Node energy and do it. And you have to do it. Right? We're not coming to do it for you. You do it. You tell me, the universe, who you are, and I will set up the tracks in the pathway. Just tell me, right? And then we've got that Chiron energy, and Chiron was the wounded healer. It's still the wounded healer, right? But Chiron in Aries right now has done a lot of peeling away the layers and the shame and the guilt and the blame and the I'm not enough and I can't do it. It has pulled that down. So we're no longer looking at ourselves, our own identities, our own bodies, our own us through just the lens of the wound, the fear of being who we are. Now there's been some healing around that. And so the perspective that we're able to handle and to carry and usher into the world of ourselves is North Node quality. It's like, yes, you have done and had that healing to who and what you are. Now move it forward, but you have to take the action. You take the action and set the pace, and I will open up every single door. Right? This is my experience, you guys, astrologically, personally, when we make the decision, Aries North Node, with a new identity. When we make the decision, the universe comes running. It is waiting for us to just say, this is who I am. And you know what? Along the way, I have said several times, this is who I am. And I get into the this is who I think I am zone. And I get there and I'm like, universe, listen, that's not who I am. That is something nice. That is lovely, but that's not who I am. So we also have this kind of perspective, but pick a thing, right? And it's the self-love, it's who I am, it's absolutely enough. But the other piece that I think that the North Node and Chiron leaves us with that is more powerful to me than any of this is to tell the truth about who you have been, because who you have been is who you can serve. If you were an alcoholic, and maybe you still are an alcoholic, there's a debate on that. You might be uniquely qualified to tribe up with other alcoholics in recovery and help alcoholics, right? If you were an overeater, if you were a mom struggling with postpartum depression, if you were a mom who is like your struggle was just like, I don't even know what momming is anyways, you know what I mean? Wherever your struggle was the wound to your identity, who I am is not acceptable, who I am is a tornado, who I am is, right? when you find out, and I think that the last 2 years has been some real truth finding out about who and what we really are with all of the bullshit pulled down. Who are we? That is the magic of the North Node. It's like, that's who you are. Now run towards that. Run towards that. What can you do with that? Who can you serve this world with? Who can you help with that? But you got to choose to do it. You got to choose to do it. You got to choose to go tell people, show people who you are. You got to choose to go to war for your own life. And then I'll open the door. I'll open the door. I'll even fill your toolkit with the people that you need to help you. Because that's the other beautiful feature, I think, of North Node energy is that it always supplies the destiny people. It supplies your angels, your helpers to help you get the journey done. Right? But it does require going against the South Node, right? Like Libra South Node wants people to like me. I want to be comfortable. And this is what I say between Libra and Aries. So you can take this with you. Because Libra wants to be comfortable, wants it to be Venusian, wants it to be beautiful. And Mars is like, I'm willing to go to war for this. There is no point in the journey where you're going to be able to save your face and your ass at the same time. One of these 2 points at the Aries Libra nodal axis has to be dealt with. And in order to save your ass, you have got to be who you are. What is it? What is it in your story? What do you uniquely have? Do you know how to help, previously incarcerated women now on a spiritual path? Do you know how to help? Who are you? Who have you been that now you can go out and you can go to war for your people because of who you are? And you got to leave this over here because I don't want anybody to know I went to jail. I don't want anybody to know I was a thief. I don't want anybody to know I'm good at beating. I don't want people to know because that makes everybody feel comfortable. That's not it. And that's not what these 2 seasons, I think, astrologically have to offer us at all. At all. Right? So again, kind of this concept when we're talking about the Aquarian and Pisces season as we come to it, is there's a bridge here between Libra and Aries as well. This is where I'm at. This is the life I want to go for. This is the freedom I want to have in my identity. Because I'm going to tell you what, you guys, I don't ever, and this is me, and this has been me for a long time. I was never going to be not telling people I was an astrologer, right? That's not for me. That's never been for me. And now that it's bigger and louder and I've needed to go to war for that a little bit, some people are quite uncomfortable, right? I've been uncomfortable with people being uncomfortable, but getting on the bridge, how we're going to make that happen, this is where we can absolutely do that. So I really want to hear from your whole heart, from my heart to your heart. Where are you? Who are you? Who are you today? And you know that you're that person because you have struggled with it, which makes you uniquely qualified to go help people in that way. Whatever it's been. The thing that I love about humanity the most is that nobody is out here doing any new kind of drama. None. Humans have just had the kind of drama that we have since we started being us. So whatever and whoever you are, I want to put it on your heart today, astrologically, spiritually, personally, humanly, that you're enough. You're enough. Even if you feel like you messed it all up, you are enough. And this is the season for you where things can be moving forward. If you will use that North Node and Chiron to just tell the universe who you really are. But you're a little bit healed now, so you can be vulnerable because that's your teachable, right? Okay, all right. We got a little bit off track from the 28th. I apologize, soapbox away, but it is important. I think that it's important for us to remember that the 28th is this beautiful triple conjunction and it's bringing information. And I think that because it's bringing this information or this, I perceive it as a celebration as these guys come together, Sun, Mercury, Saturn, because as they're coming together here in Pisces, like there is a sense of mastery, especially with Saturn involved. Because remember, Saturn in Pisces is like you have to stop talking about it and you have to go be about it. That is Saturn energy. But if you go be about it, I'm gonna bless the hell out of that. I'm gonna show you how to do it. You're gonna own mastery, right? You will have mastery here. And with that mastery comes the good news, the good tidings, all of those things. So I think that as we're moving towards March, this is such a delicious start for us going into starting a new chapter, having a bit of a reality check for each of us that brings us to a place of truth where we can have these new beginnings as we're coming to springtime. Aries season is going to be coming in. The astrological new year, right? The official new year of Western astrologers is going to be coming in here just in March. So if you're prepared, to take what information comes for you, especially at the end of this month as we're closing it out, I think that you can be very well informed to start something new as we're coming into the spring season. Now, for some of you too, I do want to just say this because Saturn I don't always put it in the boat, but depending on what house it's happening in for you, if there are things in terms of legal situations that need to be brought to a close or decisions need to be made or something like that, I think that as we're at the end of the month, that news that comes with this triple conjunction can also be something that brings like information or a revelation or some kind of like it could bring it maybe even to a conclusion. So look for that around the 28th, okay? I mean, really, as it's sliding into position, as this is applying around the 23rd, 24th, you could start to see it, but I think it's just stronger as we close out the month. Okay, so stay up, you guys, stay up. Stay up, stay open-minded. I just want to hold you here. Remember, there is a lot going on. The next couple months as we move forward, we're going to start to come back into some more eclipse, not just eclipse, but we're going to come back into some retrograde energy, starting out with Mercury retrograde cycle. Okay, so we're going to have time to go back over to review things. We're going to have all of that. But as we are finishing out February and moving forward between Aquarius and Pisces season, just remember you have been someplace, you have done some things, you have been through some things, and they are valuable to not only your story, they are valuable to someone else. If you see a gap between what is really honestly going on for you and where you would like to be, it's okay to not be the expert. Bring in an expert into your life. YouTube is a fantastic place to find your expert. If you feel like I don't know how to do a budget or I've been trying the best I can with my money and it's not working, stop watching me. Stop watching me for 6 months. Don't spend 2 minutes on one of my videos. Go spend those 2 minutes on the video of somebody talking about how to do your budget, how to get your money right, and go all in. Go hard. This is your revolution. This is your evolution. This is your reinvention. So while we got Aquarius vibe, if you need to take things out of the distraction box for a little bit, do that. As we come into Pisces, I celebrate your culmination, your assimilation of all that you have learned in the last year, whether you like it, you don't like it, no matter how you feel about it. I respect, support, and encourage your boundaries in every single way, putting them up around people, places, and things that are distracting you from being where you are to where you'd like to be and walking across your bridge. Get people with you and walk across your beautiful bridges. And I'm going to be here. The YouTube, the free YouTube Astrology Academy is here because if one of your sticking points is that you want to know and understand more astrology, but you're stuck, you can't afford it, that's not in the budget right now, we crowdfunded, all of us as a community, the Soulmate Tribe, we crowdfunded 50 classes of master teachers coming here and giving you not short little snippet videos, not videos where at the end they tell you to come buy stuff from them. We are giving you free classes and it's available right here. You just got to click in and engage it. The playlist is set in order so you can watch it in order. Put it on. Spend the day. If astrology is where you need to get your bridge to come across, do that. Engage in that way, right? Now, if you are at another place and you are ready to come to the next level, you can always come to the website and take classes with me. I'm all over the place. I'm all over the place. I have Mercury at the midheaven. I'm a busy lady, okay? But if you are looking to take it to the next level, come take my class coming up in March about chart synthesis. I would love you to do that. I want to help you speak the language of astrology and be fluent. You have lots of ways to bring astrology and consciousness into your life on this channel and in this soulmate family tribe. There are good people here. There are good souls here. So I would love for you more than anything to join us, to add to us, to tell us who you really are in case someone else in our tribe is someone you can really help. Don't let your vulnerability make you think you're trash. It's how you're teachable, and it's how you put your little beacon out to help someone else if they're ready to have a solution as well. You guys are so beautiful. I know it's early, early, early in the United States. So I appreciate you taking a minute, especially on a Sunday, to be with me, to let me hold you. Because even if I can't respond to every single comment all the time, I'm seeing it and I'm acknowledging every single one of you. This is happening every time I read a comment. I'm like, yes. Yes, I'm sending you a little love. Yes, I'm sending you some of this, okay? Every single time. So please know that you are loved, you are held here. I look forward to bringing you more content. I look forward to bringing you classes to help you learn. And I look forward to bringing you more community on this channel as well. All right, my absolutely beautiful friends, let's go do some Sunday. We charged up a little. We charged up a little. So let's go do a beautiful Sunday wherever you're at, take it one bite at a time, okay? But let's do it and definitely find the distance between where you're at, where you want to go, so that you can very clearly identify the bridge you need to get on to help yourself. I love each of you.